Was thinking about the word omnipresent this morning, and kind of the word says it all. Um, Omnipresent, meaning it's present everywhere. And it's powerful to consider what that means, what everywhere actually means. That the wholeness of life, the singular reality, is, of course, by definition, everywhere. But in subtle or not so subtle ways, we imagine, not infrequently probably, that it's somehow that there's aspects of this reality, aspects of our experience, aspects of our circumstances that somehow, well, that couldn't be that couldn't be the divinity, the one singular miracle. But of course it is. And this to me really this is the freedom, the freedom of this being everything, of this being no place where this is not the case, this one reality, right? And so from this standpoint, there's only freedom. It's not freedom as opposed to something else, right? On so many times, these different descriptors of the divinity, freedom, um, love, openness, and so on are thought about in terms of their opposite, right? Which is how language tends to function, right? Otherwise, why would we have a word to describe it, whatever the thing is, if there wasn't some example of where that quality or characteristic wasn't present, right? That's what the word sort of signifies something as opposed to something else, right? So, but the freedom that I was just speaking about is, in the case of this being everywhere, being omnipresent, the word almost doesn't make sense, right? Because it's not in relationship to some non-freedom. It's just the freedom of this being everywhere. So just feel that. I mean, every possible tiny, tiny aspect of experience that may be encountered, seemingly infinitesimally small, little detail or little flicker, a little vibe, a little portion of the field of experience that's focused upon or becomes a focus of attention or is suddenly noticed, suddenly find to be arising is what? It is this. This. There's no name for this, right? This reality. We'll call it reality. When is that ever when is that ever absent? It's not absent because it's the one thing. So it's exactly what's here right now. It's exactly what's being looked at, exactly what's being heard, exactly what's being thought, exactly what's being felt and sensed and perceived. Every single aspect of it. You're seeing, you're of course seeing all the differences because this appears uniquely in each of its seeming aspects, right? But you're always looking at the one thing, right? And what's looking, which we would typically think of as us, is the one thing as well, right? There's probably one thing, I guess one thing that may keep us from seeming to see this, or one thing that keeps us believing somehow that this is not already what's being noticed, is the way we're holding things conceptually, the way we're defining things, which, seems to split the world up into all these different aspects and flavors and qualities. And again, this maybe is the confusing part, is that it doesn't appear as one thing. It appears as a multiplicity. Visually, obviously, you see the multiplicity of colors and shapes and forms. But what are you looking at? You're looking at your perception, and your perception is alive. You're looking at aliveness, and what's looking is the aliveness. And however what's being perceived, what's being looked at, is being interpreted, that whole way of holding it is also the aliveness. There's just no escaping the one thing. You can't miss it. You can't lose it. You can't really find it because it was never lost. It's just what's here. It's just what's here right now. What's always here, right? This absolute explosion of life. May not always seem like a loud explosion, but it's the explosive nature of it is it's it's here-ness, it's just here. Or just let yourself feel that. Just revel in the fact that there's nothing but this singular aliveness, this singular presence of reality, right? You ever have that experience when you're, I mean, just living your life, but maybe doing something like meditation, and there's this subtle or not so subtle feeling of like, wait, why are you meditating in the first place? Presumably, you're not experiencing the one thing, the divinity, the absolute, whatever, and now you're going to meditate so that you can experience that. I mean, that would be seemingly one reason to meditate if that's what you're searching for. But nothing that this is so strange, like nothing that we could do could get us closer to seeing the one thing because we're always seeing the one thing. See? So that feeling that I'm sure you've had at times in your life when you're doing something, some sort of inquiry or practice or meditation or something or whatever, attending a retreat or something, workshop. Some There's just tends to be this, again, subtle or not so subtle belief that you're not already perceiving the one thing. But what if the one thing that all the world's scriptures are presumably about was exactly what you're perceiving right now? Which, of course, it is, because this moment of perceiving is the activity of existence, isn't it? I mean, it's completely not explainable. It's life. Perception is life, and something's always being perceived. And that's it. It's not some other perception, it's this perception. This perception is awake. This perception is the awakening. isn't it? It's by definition, the moment is awake, and all there are moments, and they're all awake, no matter what they seem to look like, no matter how they seem to be descriptively, in their fundamental, you could say, basic nature, they are. And in their are-ness, their isness, they are awake. Every perception is awake. And there's no effort is required for this to be awake, for this to be. Because here it is. And in its here it isness, that's its awakeness. Its um, luminosity, its brightness. It's showing up as something. That's its appearing. It's these are all just different ways of trying to convey the creative force of this. It's generation of stuff, of perceptions. And that's never absent, is it? When is that ever absent? We might not like how it seems to be appearing, but it's still the one thing, isn't it? Appearing as whatever it seems to be appearing as. That's the easy path to simply see that this is omnipresent, to see that it is everywhere and everything. You're the one thing, every person, place, and thing that's perceived as the one thing. Every experience is the one thing. Every circumstance, every event, every situation, all the different ways the one thing can appear. It's never absent. It's never far away. It's exactly what's being encountered right now, as this instant, and the next, and the next. Again, feel how you don't have to do something to make this be here. You don't have to do something to make this be awake. Its wakefulness is its appearing. Because in its appearing, it's being as being perceived, right? And that perceiving is the wakefulness. It's awake, always, no matter what it looks like. And that's the home that we are and everything is and is never absent.